Hello everyone, Warangel here, and welcome back to Grimgor'z Waaagh for Mortal Empires. Now we start today's episode off with a battle against the full might of the Strigoi Empire's forces, where two armies have come to attack Gorfang's army in the underway. Now you can see the main army is over there in the distance, but I've had my troops deployed to face the other way, as we're going to deal first of all with the reinforcement army coming behind us. Now, thanks to their recruitment buildings, as I'll see later on in the campaign map, the Strigoi Empire have got a lot of inferior troops and heavily armoured troops, in the form of the Khan Wraiths and Black Knights respectively. So, while we're waiting for the main army to start making their way forward, we charge in with everybody to attack the reinforcements. Now already you can see orcs smashing through from the charge by the Black Knights in the centre. But it's going to be a pretty easy fight for us. We heavily outnumber the enemy, and with our debuffs that we're using thanks to Spite back in the distance, in fact we're just about to see one being used right now, Itchy Nuisance reducing base weapon damage and melee attack. But despite how heavily armoured the Black Knights are and the Khan Wraiths being inferior, it's just not going to do too well against the overwhelming numbers that we've sent at them. Now, it's going to be pretty easy. They are going to take a few casualties of our own troops just because they are tough units. Which reminds me, in the next episode, I'm going to have to try and swap out my orc boys for some big guns just to make things better for us. But while the boys are continuing to fight, you can see here in the centre that Gorfang is taking on a Strigoi Ghoul King. Now, we've got the advantage in this fight. You can see that when the tooltip's bouncing back and forth, that Gorfang is winning decisively, and we're boosting him up with sneaky stabbing, giving him extra armor piercing damage and melee attack. This Ghoul King has got a lot of trouble ahead in his way, and it doesn't help when the boys are coming to give a helping hand. What's that say? Living or dead, you will serve me. Oh, that's cool. I think I got the mod immersive banners, which make the banners look much cooler. And yeah, just never read that bit before. But, as you can see now, we eliminated the enemy lord, leaving their troops to try and fight on while they're going to be taking some damage from the crumbling and disintegration. But they are still going to be hanging on for a little while, and you can see it maybe in the distance that the enemy's army is starting to march towards us, slowly but surely. So I'm going to skip forward a couple of minutes until we're ready to receive the next army. So see you guys in a mo. I have to say, the Curse of the Bad Moon, I love the animation for it. It really does make me laugh. But, as you can see, we're a few minutes now after the last bit, and I've set up my line in a fairly basic formation, ready to receive the enemy's next army. Now, this one's a little bit more of a variety. They do have a couple of zombie units, as well as skeleton spearmen and warriors somewhere around here, but they still have a lot of Black Knights. I believe they've got about 5 units, 2 on this side, and then 3 on this side. And they've got a bunch of Khan Wraiths, as well as a Banshee and a Master Necromancer leading the force. Now, being a Master Necromancer, he's going to stay in the back for the most part, but we are going to have to be ready to receive the enemy's charge. Now on my left flank, or the enemy's right, I am using the spell Gork will Fix It, as you can see, to reduce the enemy's charge speed and charge bonus, so they're not going to be as effective when they make their way into my orc big guns over here. Likewise over here, I'm trying to use Soul Blight just to reduce the enemy's base damage as well as the armor values, hopefully making the fight a bit easier for my orcs own there. But the main line in the center is going to come and attack us, and the problem with facing inferior units is the fact that you do need a magical weapon, ideally, to take them out, and the only unit in the entire army with a magical weapon is Gorfang, with his Sword of Anti-Heroes. So what I've done is charge him in, as you see, and the Banshee has come in to help. He is reinforced by some Black Orcs, which is going to make things a little bit easier, but he can really manage things himself pretty well, especially with the bonus he's getting from the sword. Now while he's doing that, we've got some more Black Knights charging in here. My boys are holding them off, but not as good as I was hoping. You can see already that they were going to lose that fight if we weren't careful. But we do have my Night Goblins just firing in a little bit, hoping to do a bit of damage. Now, the fight's going on over here. We are casting spells, trying to make sure the enemy is debuffed as much as possible. And we are using, as you can see now, the Waaagh ability. The local Wither Troll is decided to get in on the action of it. Her bag, she's just swinging around, going after the Master Necromancer. Now, I was hoping she was going to do a bit more damage than she ends up doing. As you can see, even with the, well, without the debuff, she's got a weapon strength of 415. And not too bad when it comes to combat abilities. So I was hoping she would do a bit more, but beggars can't be choosers, can they? Now again, the Black Knight formation on our left flank has really been stalled, thanks to us charging in and just dealing with them before they can get those charge bonuses. And likewise on our right flank, we've eliminated a lot of them. One unit is left, has taken a ton of damage, so I'm not that concerned. But the center is still going on, especially over here. Just a lot of Khan Wraiths combined with the Black Knights is going to make things tough for the best of times. But we are doing alright. You can see if we have over here now that they're going to start taking losses because of the critical binding going. Crumbling start going, disintegration occurs, mainly because of the army losses from fighting the other army. And you can already see now that the health is just dropping dramatically. And without really any warning, I end up winning the fight, as you can see. It was a close victory, mind. We took a few more casualties than I would have liked, mainly because of the Khan Wraiths. Their ethereal nature does make it difficult for us to try and fight them with standard troops. Now, we weren't lucky in a way with Gorfang that in the second part of the fight here, he was able to combat the Khan Wraiths and the Banshee, but we could see across the line, and when I wasn't even talking about it though, that we could see other bits like here where the Khan Wraiths were holding on strong, and you'll be able to see on the campaign map exactly how many kills they managed to get against our troops. But I'll see you guys back on the map. So, a close victory, but I'll quite happily take that. We managed to wipe out most of the enemy's forces. They may manage to keep a couple of their units, but we'll just have to wait and see. But for the moment... Oh wow, we really can't eat much of them, can we? I suppose we didn't capture any, that doesn't help. But the question now is whether or not we will be able to have enough forces left in our army to actually go after Mordheim. Now bear in mind we are getting some replenishment because I decided to move into our territory, so that's going to help us out quite nicely. But we'll just have to wait and see. They have started moving in, but I haven't had a look yet at the garrison to see exactly what we're dealing with. But looking forward to giving it a go. What I want to do today, ideally, is just wipe out this Strigoi Empire completely, so we have got one less enemy to worry about. Now let's pop through these first. Okay, good. And we've got a ton of money as well. But let's sort this out. Yeah, I think we're pretty okay to actually attack Mordheim. As you can see, we've only gone ahead one turn, so it's enough that if I go back up to Grimgor'z, we've recruited for him a couple of units of Black Orcs. Now, something I did do a little bit of research on him before recording, is I was wondering why this was happening, and according to the mod page for Tabletop Caps, it seems to be a script error. Now, I did look back on the earlier videos in the series, and the Tabletop Caps mod was working fine, so I presume with the betas that we can sign up to and stuff like that, somewhere along the line the scripts have got a bit mixed up. So I may just end up getting rid of them, to be honest, because with them being as high as that, it's basically no different than playing vanilla Warhammer. You know, you could have an entire army of Black Orcs and there's nothing stopping you. So I may end up getting rid of it. I'll have to wait and see. If you guys are actually having no problem with using the mod collection, if you are, then I'll probably just keep it in. I don't know. I mean, it's not making any difference, I guess, so I might as well just keep it in for the sake of it. But anyway, with that in mind, though, why don't we get a couple more Black Orcs? Yeah, I'm thinking we'll do that. So I know we've had these big guns for a little while, but what? No, let's get rid of you guys with the armor. I'm sure my new Black Orcs will be more heavily armored as well. Yeah, 120, I think is a much better option. We do want to keep a couple of them because Black Orcs are supposed to be rare, So I can understand having a few of them in Grimgor'z army, but when you see people that have entire armies, for example, of Sword Masters of Hoeth or, Tomb Guard and things like that, you think that's quite unrealistic. That's why I like the Tabletop Caps mod. But, anyway, with Grimgor now done, let's actually move Gorfang in. Oh, stop. I just remembered. We've got a little boss. I moved into position here. So what I'm going to get him to do is try and damage the walls. Critical failure. Oh my god. He must have had such a low chance of that. I didn't see the scores. Ugh. Right. No matter though, I presume with the trolls, we can actually use these, as siege attackers. So we could go in and attack right away. But that's going to be a tough chaos to deal with. What we probably want to do then is try and take the walls. So we don't have to worry about dealing with stuff like the Kataras and that, but to be honest with you, I don't really think it's going to be a big deal. I will get some siege equipment just because I think it's great to have. But, yeah, I think we can at least wait one turn before we go and attack him. And looks like, I doubt... Well, maybe this guy might come up to help. And then we'll fight the battle outside. We'll just have to wait and see. Bekla, you can stay there for the moment. You're just going to continue upgrading. But the other one we want to go here is back to Ragnik. Now, we do have a couple new characters renamed. So, the Goblin boss is now called Stupid, with the backstory coming on screen right now. And again, very orky, and I do like it. So thank you, Drake, for that. And then we also got Crusher, the Chosen of Mork. And again, backstory on screen right now. Different submission this time, so we've got a nice bit of variety coming up slowly but surely. But yeah, thank you guys for submitting. And again, if you guys are interested in submitting, settlement names, unit names, or anything like that, you can check out the link pinned in the comment section. But what are we going to do with Ragnik? We've got a few of these guys, and I do want to use a few regiments of renown with his unit, his army, just because of things like the Swamp Things, or we've got Delicate Squigs instead of just getting normal Squig Hoppers. I think again the Death Creepers could be quite cool. In fact, I'm going to recruit these guys now, just so I make sure I got them in position here ready. We're also recruiting some Goblin Rock Lobbers, and I want to give him a knack of... Oh god, how do you pronounce the bloody name? Ragnarok. Ragnarok, right. I do want to get him at least one unit of these, but we need to do the effigy ritual for that. So we'll come back to that shortly, because I want to spend about 10,000 of that on the landmark building back up at Black Crag. While they're not necessary, let's get a couple of units of... No, I don't want... Oh, damn it! Right, let me try that again. Right, lobber. Right, grab my hands on a goblin lobber. We don't need too many of these, because instead I want to get other big stuff. A giant's gonna be quite cool. Now, let's get our hands... with the trolls we can get through the regiments of renown. What about the different pump wagons? Spiky rollers, I think, would be quite a bit of extra punch to the army, you know? And then, of course, we have the Ragnarok Spider I want to get, and then... do want to get some Squig Hoppers. To be honest, let's just get rid of the archers. They're not exactly going to be much use, are they? Let's be honest. And then... Squig Hoppers. Perfect. Right. That's that done. And then the next bit, back at Black Crag, we can now, because it's been a tier 5 settlement, get our final landmark, Dork's Rock. All the best places are ones you've nicked from other races, and then left your own by leaving piles of poo and shiny stuff everywhere. Fantastic. Now, this does give a bunch of bonuses, so we'll quite happily take that. And if it does give me 2,000, I might save that. Because, yeah, we're pretty much done with that. It means we'll be able to do the effigy next turn. So, let's quickly upgrade. Let's give you the Evil Sun armor straight away. I do think I want to give him his boar chariots, but we're not going to give it to him just yet, because then we can actually use him in the siege. So we'll do that. And let's give you Tunnel Boss, Bellower. In fact, let's just increase the boys, make them a little bit tougher. And there we go, the Evil Sun Armor. The Evil Sun Armor is a thick set of magical steel plates and scale mail, an enameled plate depicting the living evil suns covering his stomach, and often accompanied by a close-fitting helmet carved in the shape of a snarling orc face. So what does that give me as an ability? Plus 25% miss... Wow, that's pretty good. And increasing his vigor. That's going to be useful. Right, what else? Spite. I think we have actually topped up nearly all your magical spells. Gork will fix it. I think we've got Night Shroud left to do, but I might go for the mushrooms instead. And then the local Wither Troll. Can we do any more? No, I've already upgraded her there. Already got that. Let's go Evasion. Now we're going to eventually be able to get her Arcane Conduit, I think. And Kratoman. Let's give you a pile of shiny stuff, and yeah, we'll go ahead and upgrade it. And then hit enter, and finally. Right then, they have come out to attack me after all. And they brought in the reinforcements from the other Strigoi army down here. So, we're going to have to deal with these guys, who are probably going to be coming in behind us. We may be able to take out these guys before we have to deal with these. Right. Let's just give it a go. I'll see you guys on the battlefield. Welcome, guys, to the battlefield. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer up right now that this was not the best of battles that I fought in terms of tactics. I wasn't really paying attention to one or two parts during the fight, which meant that, yeah, I kind of got caught out of position at one point, but we were able to hold it off nevertheless. But, to start things off, you can see here that we've basically gone for mass overwhelming power against the reinforcement army that came in to attack us. Now, it's going to be a pretty easy fight. The Khan Waves have got a bit of a debuff thanks to Skulk back in the background. Sorry, Spite. Skulk is the Orc Shaman, isn't he? With Grimgor'z. Keep getting the two mixed up. But, we're trying to deal with the Khan Waves over here. The Black Knights are already dealt with. And we've now got a Strigoi Vampire Lord, who I believe is the one you get from the Bloodlines abilities. Mechanic, making him much better, I believe, than a typical Strigoi Ghoul King. But we're going to deal with that. But as that's going on, you can see how quickly the enemy's other army has got into position here. Not surprising given they have got Khan Waves, which are reasonably quick, as well as the Black Knights. But we've also got Fellbats coming in and Vargeist from the Garrison army. So, unfortunately, I got caught out of position. This is what I was talking about. Luckily, though, they were damaged from the previous fight, meaning that we were able to deal with them relatively okay. The Night Goblins, as you can see, are already doing a number on the Direwolves, and they're attacking the Black Knights over here. But this unit, this reinforcement army, ended up lasting a bit longer than I expected, meaning that it wasn't going to be too long until we had to deal with Fellbats coming in to attack us in the rear. We've got Vargeist making their way over as well, and some more Khan Waves. Luckily though, because of the fact that I realised, oh yeah, I don't need this many troops getting involved, I soon started sending troops who weren't getting involved in the fight, especially over here on the right side of the battle, to go and try and deal with the attacks we have over here. Now, to hold off this unit of Black Knights, I sent in the Snotling Pump Wagon, which, as you can see, was not the best thing for me to do. They're not really designed to go after Black Knights, but they were doing the job quite nicely until we can send in my Boar Boys. So while that's going on over here, we've got another Vampire Lords. I might have got the things mixed up with Strigoi Kings of that. We also got some more boys dealing here with the Trolls. Back over here, the Vargeist are getting involved. They are going after my Night Goblins, but we are bringing in Orcs, as you can see, to deal with them as well. So all in all, should be easily dealt with. Over here then, we've got my Orc Biggins and now taking on the Strigoi Vampire Lord. I believe at this point I left Gorfang to go off and attack other targets, so this will be a one-sided fight, but he's going to be able to get a couple of kills in while we're waiting for that to happen. In fact, you can see Gorfang is making his way up to try and take out the other Strigoi Vampire Lord. At this point, though, the Khan waves have been dealt with. Pretty much the entire first army we had to fight has been eliminated, apart from this counter here. So soon we'll be able to come over and get ourselves dealing with the enemy. He's going to come in now and attack the Vampire Lord, and because at this point that second wave has been dealt with so efficiently, I have started moving the entire formation ready to receive the main army coming towards us. Now, a couple of units do get caught up still, like over here are the 2 units fighting the Vampire Lord, but as well as like the Ball Boys still dealing with the Khan waves, but eventually we'll be in position ready to receive the next attack. Now, we've still got the Orc Boys and the Stone Trolls taking out the last of the Khan waves over here. The Strigoi Vampire Lord just proves to be a pain in the backside. I'm not going to lie. He just keeps retreating and coming back, which is going to be annoying throughout the entire battle. But what can you do? We've got the Black Orcs and that still just watching their war boss just getting on with business. You can see he's doing quite a bit of damage against the Black Knights. In fact, they decided to run away. They'd rather fight Black Orcs than fight Gorfang at any time of day. And speaking of running away, look again, Vampire Lord just running off like that, ready to try and attack later on. And of course, Stone Troll is coming in now to finish off the job, and we've now dealt effectively with that second wave, meaning now we're going to have to deal with the next one. Now this is going to be annoying. The enemy have got Graveguard as well as Cryptghouls, but mainly Graveguard to deal with, and they turn out to be surprisingly effective compared to what I'm used to when I've used them myself in the past. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's because we're using vanilla Warhammer instead of closer to tabletop or what have you. But we shall see. Now, we managed to get quite a few kills in thanks to the Curse of Dabar Moon. That's always nice to see. Very effective first blow there. Then as they get closer and closer, we start charging forward ready to deal with them. I've got units over here coming in to deal with the Khan waves. We've got others coming in to attack the Graveguard here, as well as the Crypt Horrors charging in over here. If we go further along the battle line, you can see there's a matchup going on between the Crypt Horrors and the Stone Trolls. And the Stone Trolls are really showing their worth. They have managed to do quite well in the fight. The Crypt Horrors will be back eventually, but for now, I'm quite happy with the outcome. We've got another Strigoi Vampire Lord, this time now being affected by the Itchy Nuisance. Didn't realise that vampires can be affected by the itches, but something, you know, you learn it, something new every day. Alright, what's going on back here? We've got a Vampire Death. I believe this is the army leader for the garrison just coming in. Now, she's just going to be hovering around a bit, not too much to say with. But it's going to be basically a long drawn-out battle. You can see the Vampire Lord is still running around. I believe this is the other one I thought that we dealt with, but apparently not. But he ends up going after Spite, coming in for the initial charge there. We have boosted him up thanks to the Waaagh ability, and you can see the local Wither Trolls coming in to give Spite a bit of a helping hand. It's already knocked him down to the floor quite nicely, and to try and keep him alive I made sure to send the Black Orcs in just to help out a bit. But at this point, he is just trying to hold the line. The Graveguard are doing quite well despite having to deal with stuff like here we've got the Ball Boys charging back and forth, just doing extra damage against the Graveguard. But even then, they're still holding on pretty well. And it's the case, unfortunately, across the line. We managed to now eliminate one of these Strigoi vampires, which is quite nice. We can now bring in the Black Orcs in order to try and help out against the Graveguard here. And of course, we are using more Itchy Nuisances just to help things out a bit. Looks like this unit of Khan waves has really not had a good time fighting against my Orc Boys. I find going up against inferior units, you do kind of want to just keep hitting them with quantity of attacks rather than high damage ones, just because of how the percentage works. Maybe other people will disagree, but that's what I find tends to work. But they still do a ton of damage just because their combination of ethereal and armor piercing really does wonders against units like mine, where armor piercing not admittedly as good because we have low armor, but still just something we have to try and deal with. And unfortunately, dealing with it is exactly what we're doing. Our Orc Boys can not handle, really, the Graveguard. It's just getting to the point, though, that because we do have the advantage when it comes to numbers, and we're starting to get units disintegrated, which is always good to see, enough damage has been done. Eventually, they are crumbling, but it wasn't an overwhelming advantage I thought we would have with the Orc boys. So again, I'm going to have to really focus on upgrading them in the future episode to become big guns instead. Swap them out, you know? But it was a Pyrrhic victory, but the most important thing from this fight is we've now dealt with the garrison of Morgheim, meaning that we'll be able to make a choice about what we're going to do with the settlement when we go back to the campaign map. So see you guys in a moment. Well, a Pyrrhic victory, but hopefully now it means we can actually take Morgheim this turn, and we didn't lose any full units, which is even better. So, let's click that. Yep. Now bear in mind... Oh, this is a bad thing. Bear in mind that we do have the quest battle we need to do for... Well, not the quest battle, sorry. As part of the quest chain for the Blood-Forged Armor, we need to sack and raise, was it 5 settlements? Now, because this is doing the end turn phase, if we choose to sack it, I believe it will allow the Morgheim to just gain its garrison back, even reduced. So I'm going to have to take the hit with this time and just go occupy it. Instead, what we'll do is go and sack the Floating Marshes, is it? The other region in the province, down to the south. And then we'll just have to build up our numbers of sacked settlements by going after the last defenders. Oh yeah, and this happened during the end turn phase. Nagaroth has been destroyed. I would love to know what's happening up there. I mean, it could very well be that the Cult of Slaanesh... Oh, sorry, the Cult of Pleasure... Yeah, right. Maybe that they've got eliminated them, or it might be something to do with the Tomb Kings up there, or it could be the Skaven. I mean, it could be so many different things, but I think that's the first time I've ever seen Nagaroth being destroyed in a campaign. But let's skip through that one, right? Gobaranta. Okay, let's see now. Can we reach the Floating Marshes this turn? We cannot. I definitely want to get this done by the end of today. So let's take advantage of the underway to float down to here. And then we'll be able to go after the floating village really easily. I'm not that concerned. As for Morgheim, let's get rid of that for now. We'll get rid of the Raiden stashes as well. First things first, in order to deal with the vampiric corruption, I want to get a boss tent. That way then we can start dealing with that situation nice and easy. Yeah, minus 32 public order. I mean, 10 of it's from conquest, but just minus 16 from corruption in general. Ugh. I'll have to deal with it quickly. But anyway, that's that done. That's next. Bekla can stay where she is. Ragnik is still recruiting a few more units. Grimgor'z, we're going to get him marching down as fast as possible to start attacking the last defenders. Now we could go for Lamia, and that's going to leave us pretty secure on our right flank. We can just march straight down through the sand. Yeah, I think that will be our plan. So what we could do is make our way to the Misty Mountain. I'm going to force march because at least I know it's going to happen, and rather than have to jump through the underway. It's not like we're going to be skipping too far, but we can use the underway then, I presume, to skip over towards here, and then we'll be able to attack Lamia straight away. And then we'll send Ragnik down here towards Death Gorge, I'm thinking. Yeah, that sounds like a plan to me. So we'll move... How long is it going to take? 1, 2, 3, 4 turns. Right, okay. Let's focus as well. Get the effigy. We want the effigy of the spider god. This way now we can get our Ragnarok spider. Choose that. Now this is going to spawn a black crag. And does it have... Yeah. We've got a wizard leader. Muzzwurb Teethwobber. Teethwobber, I mean. Huh, what a name. You're going to make your way down towards here, my friend. We can't move this turn. But we'll move him down to join up with Ragnik. And then what else we got left? Let's move you there. What can we upgrade? Dragonfang Mount, I think I will. Just so we can upgrade the Sea Dragon's Teeth. And that's basically all my money gone. Dread Rock, is there anything I can do here? Let's give you a pile of shiny stuff. Might as well work on building up the income a bit more. Now, Gorfang will give you your chariot now. I think the chariot's his main mount, you could say. So, compared to like a Warboar or even a Wyvern. So, I might avoid using that one for the moment. But what you can get is Massive and Mighty. Aldemizogin where you get. So what happens? Can't use a flying, manning equipment or climbing. Does not affect friendly troops. Allows chance to escape melee. We gain monstrous impact for 10 seconds. Sounds like a plan. Right, we'll give you that and that. Spite. To be honest, I don't think Night Shroud is going to be that useful for us right now. So I'm going to go ahead and get Madcap Mushrooms. Just to make it so we can, well, recharge our abilities more quickly. Even if we increase our miscast chance. Might get an opportunity to check out then the... I've got a mod which is called something like dynamic miscasts, or like basically when miscasts happen, we're going to be seeing things like explosions and that happen, which I think is quite cool. But we shall see. I think that's everything now, isn't it? Oh, the other true gets. Devastating Charge. You're not on a Warboar yet. Let's give you Woundmaker and start building up your combat abilities. Skulk. Now, Skulk I'm actually going to give a Warboar for the moment, just so he can stay out of combat a little bit. And then, there we go. Right then, let's finish off the Strigoi Empire. Okay, we did that one. Right, let's go down to Gorfang. And attack. Again, nice, easy auto-resolve after what we have to deal with previously. And I am going to sack it this time, or come back and just take it again. So, excuse me. Alright, come down here. Occupy. Yeah, doesn't matter to me if we load it down by one thing. The Marshes of Madness are not going to do much for us. It's just a case of we've got the territory, so to speak. But let's give Floating Village. Let's give you an Idol, just to increase growth a little bit. Is it worth building a Rat Trappers? Now bear in mind this does give half of the penalty for corruption, which at the moment is still 15, so it will reduce it down to about 7 or 8. The only problem though is that it takes 8 turns. And the Untainted is really not the best. I mean, it might be better. Oh, we don't have one for it anyway. We'll just pick that, and I think we'll just hang on, I guess. We'll build other stuff instead. Maybe get some defenses here would be quite handy. And... what else? I suppose we might as well get our hands on... No, you know what? We will build it. I mean, it's not like it's going to cost us a lot of money. We can easily get it done next time. But, well, you are pretty much now done. Can we get you over there any more quickly? No. Okay, let's just get you to force march down here, then. Oh, no, but it would have been too far to try and do it that way. That's fine. We will move Wagnik up towards here, though, just so he can get there a bit more quickly and get his big spider. And then is there anything else we kind of want for his army? I mean, bear in mind, we do... I mean, we did want to get another unit of Squig Hoppers, didn't I? We'll grab Ducats ones. Logie Bogie Spore Sploders. Sounds interesting. Oh yeah, I wanted to get the Trolls, didn't I? So we can have some, basically some anti-armor. I'll grab those. Add the Spider. I think that could be an interesting army to try out anyway. See how it goes. Right, so you're going to be done. Anything else now we need to worry about? You can just move back over to here. Fortress of Wurrzag. Oh yeah, I forgot. We've got the Beastmen down here to deal with at some point. Now, we're not actually at war with them, but they are going to be raising Chaos Corruption in the province. Yeah, we probably want to go and deal with those at some point. Let's just spend the money on that first. Alright, local Wither Troll, you've upgraded again. Let's give you magical reserves this time. Because we always keep running out of magic because of me trying to debuff my enemies. So having that will be handy. Right then, I think we can leave it here for today. Now, before we do in the episode, next episode time, we are going to actually have a bit of a battle of the giants. Because during the end turn phase, who turns up but Waaagh himself? Now, can't see all of his army, but he does have Lord Croak with him, which is gonna be interesting depending on how skilled he is with his spells. But we're also going to deal with Feral Stegodons, we've got Pterodon Riders. It's going to be an interesting fight, and it looks like it's going to be happening definitely in the next episode by the time we bring Grimgor'z down to the walls of Misty Mountain. But that's going to be something to look forward to. But we are going to end it here, guys. So, thank you very much for watching, I hope you all enjoyed, and that you do join me next time for some more Warhammer. But until then everybody, take care, and goodbye for now.